All right, let's talk about extra virgin olive oil. And I mean the really good stuff. We're going to get to the bottom of a mystery that a lot of people wonder about. That little peppery burn you sometimes feel at the back of your throat.
You know exactly what I'm talking about, right? You're at a tasting, or maybe you just splurged on a really nice bottle. You take a little sip, and then, boom, there's this little tickle, this sting that's just sharp enough to make you cough. For the longest time, I think a lot of us figured that had to be a bad sign.
So, that really is the million-dollar question. When your olive oil has that little bite, is something wrong? Is it old? Or could it actually be telling you something amazing?
Well, here it is, the big reveal. That burn is not a flaw, it's a feature. In fact, it is one of the absolute best ways to know that you're holding a fresh, high-quality, and incredibly potent extra virgin olive oil. It's like the oil is giving you a secret handshake, letting you know it's packed with all the good stuff.
So what is this good stuff I'm talking about? Well, it all comes down to these incredible little molecules called polyphenols. Think of them as natural bodyguards. They're antioxidants found in plants, and in olive oil, they are the MVPs. They're behind almost all of the health benefits and that unique taste, including, you guessed it, that signature burn.
Now, inside the huge family of polyphenols, there are two stars of the show we need to talk about. You can think of them as a superhero duo. You've got the stinger, who brings the kick, and the protector, who brings the shield for your body.
Okay, so on one side, you have Oleocanthal. This is our stinger. This is the specific guy responsible for that peppery feeling right at the back of your throat. But it's not just there for effect, it's a seriously powerful natural anti-inflammatory. And on the other side, we've got hydroxytyrosol, our protector. This is one of the most powerful antioxidants found in nature, whose whole job is to guard your cells against damage.
And get this, the name Oleocanthal literally tells you its superpower. If you break it down, you get oleo, which means oil, cant, which means sting, and al, for its chemical type, and aldehyde. It's the stinging oil. What's even wilder is that it works a lot like ibuprofen. It actually inhibits the same inflammatory COX enzymes in your body, but it does it completely naturally. How cool is that?
So we know what these power molecules are. But where do they come from? How do they get into the oil? Well, their story starts way before the bottle, out in the olive groves, where a really precise process turns a simple fruit into what is basically liquid gold. You know, not all olive groves are the same. The environment, what the pros call terroir, is everything. In places like Tunisia, you've got this intense sun and pretty dry conditions. That puts a little bit of healthy stress on the olive trees. And what do they do in response? Varietals like the local Chetui and Shemlali pump out even more polyphenols as a natural defense. So nature itself is basically creating a more powerful oil. But all that natural goodness has to be preserved, right? And that's where the process becomes a race against time and heat. First, the olives have to be picked early, when they're still green. That's when polyphenol levels are at their absolute peak. Then, they have to be rushed to be milled within just a few hours to stop any oxidation. Next, the oil is extracted using a cold extraction method at very low temperatures to protect all those delicate nutrients. And finally, you want minimal filtration to make sure that final product is as potent as it can be.
Okay, so you've got this amazing polyphenol-rich oil. What happens when you actually eat it? Let's take a look at the science and what these little microguardians are doing inside your body.
When it comes to heart health, the evidence is just incredible. There was this huge, landmark clinical trial called the Predimed study, and it found that the participants who ate the most extra virgin olive oil had a jaw-dropping 39% lower risk of cardiovascular disease than those who ate the least. 39%. And the same study broke it down even more. They found that for every extra 10 grams of EVOO people had a day, and that's a little less than a tablespoon, their risk of heart disease dropped by another 10%. So the takeaway here is that even small, consistent amounts can make a massive difference. And the benefits don't even stop at the heart. These polyphenols are like a shield for your brain, too. Research is showing that they can help stop those sticky proteins, the ones that are the hallmarks of Alzheimer's disease, from clumping together. Remember our stinger, Oleocanthal? It actually helps clear those bad proteins out of the brain. And hydroxytyrosol protects brain cells from the kind of stress that leads to neurodegeneration. Okay, I'm hoping you're convinced. You want that peppery, polyphenol-packed oil. But how in the world do you find it when you're staring at a giant wall of bottles in the supermarket? It all comes down to knowing how to read the label. Here's your cheat sheet. Number 1, always look for a harvest date.
Freshness is everything, because polyphenols break down over time. A best buy date can be really misleading. Number 2, look for a specific origin, like Tunisia. Vague words like blended can hide lower quality oils. And finally, make sure the label says cold extraction or cold pressed. If you see words like light, pure, or refined, just put it back. That means it's been processed and all those polyphenols you want are gone.
And that brings us right back to where we started, doesn't it? That burn, that sting, that little cough, it's the most reliable taste test you have for high-quality, high oleocanthal olive oil. What we all thought was a flaw is actually the clearest sign that you found the good stuff.
So next time you're in that olive oil aisle, you have a choice to make. You can grab just another condiment, something to throw in a pan, or, now that you know the secret of the sting, you can choose a powerful, fresh, and scientifically backed daily dose of natural medicine. What's it going to be?